Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back for another week of strong chat and comments. And of course, this week we have Britain's Strongest Man coming up. I can't wait for this competition. It is the first competition of the year, Britain's Strongest Man. It is, and Tom Stoneman and myself have spoke about this, it's one of the toughest competitions there is. I'm not sure if it's because it's the first one of the year, or if it's always because it's really tight. But trust me, Britain's is such a tough competition. It's just because obviously all of the British lads want to be Britain's Strongest Man. And I wanted to go over because I wanted to annoy people and be the first Irishman to win Britain's Strongest Man. I came close in 22. I was just behind Tom Stoneman. Tom Stoneman won. I was second. So I had a really good year that year. I'm glad I'm not doing it this year though, because some of these events are, if you know a strongman and you've competed in strongman, you'll know these events are just so tough. My God, I am glad I'm not there. So let's go down through the list first. So first on the list, we have the reigning champ, Adam Bishop. We have Luke Stoltman, Luke Richardson, Graham Hicks is out with Andy Black in. Kane Francis is out. Ben Glasscock is in. Kane Francis is actually doing really well. I was speaking to him about his recovery. He'll be back. I think we're thinking possibly in the summertime, back competing again. So a fast recovery for him. He's doing great. Then we have Paddy Haynes, Shane Flowers, Andrew Flynn, Sean Gillen. Sean to me is the real underdog here, I think. Looking at, well, now it's so hard to know because obviously Sean doesn't share a whole pile of his training, but Sean is obviously flying the flag for Ireland. Fair play to Shawnee boy. But Sean is a strong contender. I can see some stronger events for him. If you only look back a couple of weeks ago at the KS competition, he did 5 reps with a 380 kilo bar, which is fucking impressive. He's a 170 kilo man, or the last time I was speaking to him he was, and I've never seen a man able to move like him on loading races. He's fucking fast and efficient for a big fella. Log press is obviously a great event for him as well, but anyway, we'll get into that in a second. After him we have Chris Beetham and we have Matt Dimmond. I understand Matt Dimmond has an injury as well. Hopefully he's going to pull through. I don't want to affect him too much. So let's start talking events. So the first event is one of my most hated events. It is the sandbag steeplechase. And my understanding is it's 3 sandbags. It's over a steeple. You can either go around or go under, pick up the bag, run another 10 meters, load it. I think the track is actually 15 meters this year. But I can tell you, we had this at World's Strongest Man. This is one of the hardest things you can do. It's disgusting, and actually did quite well at Worlds. Obviously at Worlds it was a bit harder because we had to do it out in like 35-degree heat. The rubber flooring was probably the hardest thing of all because the heat that was coming up off of the black mats was just... Worlds is a tough competition. Do you know what? However strong you are in your gym, right, you can take 20% off of all of your lifts by the time you get to World's Strongest Man. That's the way I think it is. Especially for the European fellas who are not used to that heat. So we have sandbag steeplechase is the first event, right, which is going to ride your hamstrings, and your hole is going to be so broke up after this event. Straight after that, you have a deadlift ladder. It was originally meant to be 300 to 400 with a 300, 325, 350, 375, 400. It is now 300 to 380 like it was at Europe's. And looking at it, there's a couple of guys that could finish that ladder. But obviously because the sandbag steeplechase is going to hamper a lot of... it'll put a dampener on a lot of the fellas because it's not easy. After that, anyway, we have log press reps. As far as I know, it's 150 for reps. We have duck walk into farmers. Duck walk making a comeback back into Giants Live. Good to see new shit coming in. And we have stones. So the first thing is, let's talk about top 3 for each event. The sandbag steeplechase. I would put Luke Richardson winning it. Luke Stoneman close second. Luke Stoneman, for a big fella again, he is up around 170-ish, can fucking move. God, it's so hard. This is what I mean by Britain's been really hard because Adam Bishop is really good. Um, Shane Flowers is really good. It's hard. Sean Gillen is really good. The third place, I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it. I am going to give it to Shane Flowers because I've seen Shane working his cardio really hard, and this is a game of cardio. This whole competition is a game of cardio, to be honest. So my top three for that event is Luke Richardson, Luke Stoltman, and Shane Flowers. And I think that is going to be our podium, just while we're talking about that. No, because Adam Bishop as well. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get there in a minute. So then we have deadlift ladder. I think Adam Bishop is going to finish that. Again, it just 300 to 380 is a mere inconvenience for Adam. He'll just finish that. He won't even be out of breath. After that, I think a couple of guys here can finish it. Wait a second now. Am I missing someone? Can't believe I did this. I'm missing big Gavin Bilton. Just going to write that in there now. Sorry, Gav. I almost missed you. So I don't think Gavin Bilton would. I can tell you, Gavin Bilton doesn't like sandbag steeples either. So deadlift ladder. Gavin Bilton is one of the guys that will finish it. I think he's finished it before. Sean Gillen, I think, is going to finish it. Shane Flowers could finish it, right? Shane Flowers can finish this. If Shane Flowers is watching this, Shane, you can finish this, right? But your history of deadlifting competition isn't great. So please, let this be a competition that you don't fuck it up, okay? And don't get injured or don't pass out. Shane Flowers has all the power in the world to finish this deadlift. So that's one. Sean will finish it. Shane. Paddy Haynes could finish it. I'm not sure about this. Like, I think, like, speaking to Luke Richardson about this, you need a top end deadlift of about 440 to finish this. I'm not sure what Paddy Haynes' max is. Ben Glasscock, don't think he'll finish it. Andy Black has finished it before, so that's four guys. Luke Richardson will finish it. I don't know if Luke Stoltman will. He has done really well at ladders before, and obviously he looks in great condition. I have seen a photo of Luke, and he just looks good. Adam Bishop will obviously finish it. That's seven guys, isn't it? So I think Adam Bishop's going to win it. I think Luke Richardson's deadlift training has gone really well. I think Luke will finish it, be up there. And I'm going to give the third spot to Sean Gillen. So Sean, don't let me down, please. After that, we have log press for reps. The best log presser here, obviously, in this field of guys is, of course, Luke Stoltman. I can see Luke Stoltman smashing this. He looks in incredible shape, which means he's been doing a lot of cardio in his training. So I think that's Luke Stoltman first. Who else is a really good log presser there? Sean Gillen is going to be in the top three there. Sean Gillen has a max strength of, is he 200 or 205 kilos done? So Sean Gillen's going to be right in there with that. And I'm going to have to say top three for me there would be, this is where Andy Black is going to lose all his points. Unfortunately, I'm going to give Luke Richardson, because Luke's training, log press training, he's just a beast when it comes to you need two things here. You need a big gas tank and you need the strength, and Luke Richardson has both of those things. So I'm going to go Luke Stoltman for winning it, Sean Gillen second, and Luke Richardson in third. Then we have duck walk into farmers. Luke Stoltman. Adam Bishop's really fast in farmers, and Adam Bishop has the duck walk, was one of Glenn Ross's favourites. So Adam Bishop will have a lot of work, and he'll have an old duck walk somewhere from competing at Ultimate Strongman. And I'm going to see who would be really fast there as well. This is such a game of cardio. Like, this is the fourth event. The guys are going to be fucking whacked after this competition. Luke Stoltman first, Luke Richardson second, Adam Bishop third. And then we have stones. Again, this is looking at the stone lifters here. Probably the best stone lifter that would have been Kane Francis. Kane's stones are just amazing. Do you know who's really good stones is Andrew Flynn. We had him at the Royal Albert Hall. Andrew Flynn did a brilliant job at the Royal Albert Hall. Loaded up to 200 kilos. So he's a danger here for that event. Adam Bishop obviously has finished this stone run before. Luke Stoneman is probably the best stone man here. So I'm going to give Luke Stoneman for the win. Luke's Richardson stones are obviously really good. Luke Richardson has strong back, strong legs. He's fast. He's finished this before in his time in Europe's Strongest Man. He won it. And he did it really fast back then. I can't remember the time, but it was in around a 20-second mark. So I'm going to go for Luke Richardson, and the third place, I'm going to give it to Shane Flowers. Shane Flowers is really good stone man. So there we have it. So my top three, I think honestly, it's so hard to gauge because Adam Bishop shares not in the cunt. A lot of the guys keep so quiet about this. So I think it's like looking at the training videos and speaking to a couple of lads, I think it's going to be between Luke Stoneman and Luke Richardson fighting out for that first place. It's going to be a really good battle. If you follow online stuff, you'll know that this will be a real good battle. Third place, Adam Bishop. You can't write Adam Bishop off. He has the experience. He has all the strength in the world. Like he's good at the sandbag steeple, he's good at deadlift ladder. They could be 2 wins for him automatically, you know, and that could give him great fucking motivation to come out on top in this competition, you know. You can never write Gavin Bilton off. If Gavin Bilton comes in shape, it's hard to know from Gavin Bilton training. Sean Gillen, if Sean Gillen has a great day here, and he should do, he's a fast loader, he's a great deadlifter, great at log. He's look, duck walking to farming is just another farmer load in my opinion. And he's good at stones. God, it's so hard to call it. I'm going to go with Luke Stoneman, Luke Richardson are going to do really well here. Adam Bishop, Shane Flowers with Sean Gillen as the underdog. God, that was tough, and I think I could be all wrong. But anyway, shout out to Sean Gillen. I hope you do well and raise the Irish flag. And all the best to the lads. Lads, I hope you stay injury free, because the worst thing of all these things is when lads get injured at competitions and they're fucked then for 6 months, no competitions, no income, low motivation, you feel like a cunt, you act like a cunt. So I just really hope none of the guys get injured and, you know, we all come out without a fucking scratch. Now I'm going to move on to some comments. We have time for some comments. Yeah, let's do some comments. So this is in reference to last week's video with Natural or North America's Strongest Man and the Strongest Man in North. North America's Strongest Man is more of a test to find out who will do well at Strongest Man in North than Europe's, in my opinion. North America's is a multi-day show with 8 to 10 events that are way heavier than Europe's events. That's a bit speculative because, anyway. And if you look at last year's podium and North America's, all 3 of them have been top 5 at World Strongest Man in the past, outside of Lucas, but he was top 3 at Strongest Man on Earth. I'm not saying that the guys at North America's Strongest Man shouldn't be at Strongest Man on Earth. God, there's so many names. Because they are a strong group. I've seen North America's scoreboard, and it is such a tough lineup. I just think the guys at Europe should get a shout in the door before having to do well at any of these other competitions. I mean, if you're going to put in North America's, my opinion is Europe's Strongest Man should get an automatic invite. And I know some of you are saying Europe's isn't that heavy, and there's a reason for that, is because Europe's is a qualifier ultimately for World's Strongest Man, and he doesn't put it heavy on purpose because he doesn't want any injuries, and he's fucking right, and he doesn't want to kill the guys too much at Europe's Strongest Man. So obviously you have things like you have a lighter log, you'll have a lighter deadlift, you'll have the lighter set of stones, but still in that you will have the strongest man in Europe, in my opinion. Luke Stoneman is the current champion, and Luke Stoneman should get an automatic invite to the strongest man on Earth. And it's not as if he doesn't deserve it, because he's still, like, Europe's Strongest Man is nearly always top 10 finalist at World's Strongest Man. He's nearly always, he's going to do well at all these competitions. He's ultimately going to be invited anyway. So I think the respect should be given to Europe's Strongest Man. That's all I'm saying, because he's going to be there. The respect should be given to the man holding Europe's Strongest Man title. That's what it's about more than anything else. Not that he deserves it, but it'd just be nice to show more respect to Europe's, in my opinion. And if you don't agree with me, you can go fuck yourself. Here we go. Top 10 in worlds and European champion Luke should definitely be there. And I agree with you. He deserves to be there. And he probably will be anyway because he's going to do well somewhere along the different lines of qualifications. Gabriel Piciorum. Europe's strongest man is a downgraded Giants Live, and Giants Live is already way lighter than strongest man in Earth and North America's strongest man. Just look past couple of years, Europe's strongest man, no Tom, no Thor, no Matthias, Novikov injuries. Well, that's not a bit fair, you can't, because Tom is known to not do it because he likes to be, he's invited to Worlds at that stage, and he doesn't do it because when he first won his World's Strongest Man, he didn't do the Europes, and that's his line of thinking, and if that's the way he wants to think, that's fine. Thor was retired, Mattis was injured, and Novikov is injured, so that's not a valid point, really. It is just not a top competition anymore. If anything, the winner of World Tour Final or Strongman Classic should be invited over the Europe's Strongest Man. Yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah, the World Tour Final, even if it was the World Tour Final. I just think more respect should be given to the Europe's Strongest Man. Whoever it may be, and it has been really good guys in the past. It's been Pavla Kordiaka, Novikov, Luke Stoltman, Thor. Do you know what I mean? It's never given to an arsehole, basically. So Cracker 92, with some of the strongest man on earth, I'd say the reason Europe's wasn't specifically mentioned was down to numbers. Top 5 from previous strongest man on earth, top 3 from World's Strongest Man, Arnold Classic, Rogue Invitational, winner of Shaw Open, and North America's strongest. That's 16 automatic qualifiers, assuming no one repeats, which is not going to happen. That's why they should just put Europe's in there, because you're going to get so many repeats. You can't list 17 or more automatic qualifying spots for a 16-man show, then make it a 17-man show, do you know? North America is more similar to strongest man on earth than Europe is. It is and it isn't. It's more like it in terms of it's 2 days, it's 5 events, but ultimately, anyway. That being said, I would be amazed if the winner of Europe's doesn't get a wildcard invite. Exactly. MTG Broker. America's strongest man is getting a shot while every other show gets a shot at every other competition. Europe's, Britain's, etc. doesn't include the rest of the world, and very few Americans get invited to any Giants Live except the absolute top Americans. Now that's not fair, you can't, because all you have to do is compete at OSG and you get invited to Giants Live, and OSG qualifier is on in America, so you can shove that one up your hole. And very few Americans get invited to Giants Live. And they do. Giants Live often invite all Americans. Obviously, you get a lot of pullouts, and it's harder to fill a spot of non-American because of flights and travel and all that fucking bullshit. So it's just easier bringing a British guy or me or a European guy, you know. Giants Live, except I'm with Shaw's choice. He's trying to grow American strongman with his show. Good on him. There are over 330 million people in the USA, and Canada is another several million. Most aren't in the conversation, so time to grow the sport on this side of the pond. Big boys from other sports may venture over to strongman if it pays enough. And that's a fair enough point. If Brian Shaw's ultimate aim is to grow strongman in America, well, you know what? I can kind of agree with him then with his selection. If that's his aim to grow in America, well, more juice to him. I hope he succeeds. I hope he makes all the money in the world, because it'll just make strongman better for everyone. Why did Rob Carney give himself the nickname the gayest man on earth? Always thought it was pretty weird. First of all, Hash Brown Doyler, you cunt. His name is the world's strongest gay. I think the world's strongest gay, because he is the world's strongest gay. And if he wants to call himself the world's strongest gay, or if he wants to call himself the world's strongest fucking whatever the fuck he wants, he's perfectly entitled to do so. I find it weird that you picked on him. Are you a bit of a homophobic cunt? I think you are. Moving on. Oh, that's all we have time for. That's all the comments for today. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you check out Britain's Strongest Man. It'll be on official Strongman this weekend, this Saturday. It kicks off at 5 o'clock UK time, and I will be watching. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go, and I'd just like to wish all the boys a safe competition. May the best man win, and I will see you for a review next week on The Crack. Do you know what I mean? Peace out, guys. I'll see you later.